All right, so after our warm-up, today we're gonna go ahead and do is it a function, maps, and ordered pairs. We're gonna spend some time on maps and then sometimes on functions from a set or ordered pairs. Let's go ahead and write the lesson objective after your warm-up. Students will analyze mapping diagrams and sets of numbers to evaluate them using the definitions of a function. So if you need to pause, go ahead and pause. Let's start with the first problem. You do have to copy down the picture here that I have with the two circles. That's called a map. So this right here is called a map. And a map is very similar to a table. It's just a different way to write it. These are our inputs, and let me write that down. And these are our outputs. And again, if we use the reference of the vending machine, these would be our buttons, and these would be our soda. So if you understood yesterday's lesson on the tables, then you're gonna think that this is really easy because it's the same idea. We're also checking that every input or each number here only has exactly one output, okay? So let's see, -1 goes to 8, 0 goes to 8, 4 goes to -6, 7 goes to -2, 8 goes to -2, 12 goes to 5, and 13 goes to 7. And because nothing here goes to two different things, that means that this is a function. Again, because in the inputs in this side, there's it goes to exactly one thing. It doesn't matter that -1 and 0, let me point that. -1 and 0 went to 8. It doesn't matter that here it repeats. It only matters in the inputs. Remember, we talked about that yesterday. So that is a function. Let's look at another example. So this is a different map. Go ahead and copy it down. And if you need a pause, please pause. Again, these are gonna be our inputs and our outputs. And if again, we use the definition that we did in the warm-up where it says, sorry, let me skip all that. For each input value, there is exactly one output. So let's use that again over here. So I have to check that each number here goes to exactly one thing. If it goes to two things, then it's not a function. So let me check. -19 goes just to 10. -14 goes to -9. -11 goes to -13. But look at -9. -9 goes to -16 and 9. So because that happens here, this is not a function. Because again, -9 goes to both -16 and 9. So because it doesn't have exactly one answer, then it's not a function. Let's try this one now. We check -5 goes to 15. -2 goes to 10. But look at 0. 0 goes to 19 and to 17. So because 0 goes to 17 and 19, then it's not a function. And let me highlight that here in our notes. So again, remember, for each input, and our inputs are right here, for each input, there is exactly one output. And when that does not happen, then it's not a function like this example here. So now go ahead and do your independent practice. You have 3. Go ahead and pause if you need to. I do want you to copy down the maps and then tell me if it's a function or not a function. So now let's move on to ordered pairs. So in an ordered pair, we are doing the same thing, but again, it's a different way to do it. Make sure you copy all the order pairs in the set. This is a set where you have different order pairs. That is a set. Go ahead and copy. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Go ahead and copy the whole thing. And just like the other examples, we are checking all the inputs. So we're checking all the inputs to see if anything repeats. So we don't care, and I want to emphasize, we don't care if the outputs repeat. We don't care. We only care if the inputs repeat, and then we check our outputs. So if we check our inputs, I see 10, -2, -6, 5, 8, -11. Nothing repeats, so therefore this is a function. If looking at the points written like this is hard for you, what you can do is also just put it in a table, an X and Y table, and you start putting in the numbers 10, 9, -2, -16, -6, 7, 5, 8, 8, -16, oh, sorry, and -11, 9. If that helps, you can do it this way, check if anything here repeats, and then check for the outputs. Let's look at example number 2. We have -7, -8, -7. Oh, I see something that repeats here. And the outputs are not the same. So because the outputs are not the same, this is not a function. I don't even have to check the rest. Just because one thing doesn't work, that means it's not a function. Okay? Now you guys are gonna do this independent practice number 3, 4, and 5. Make sure you pause if you need to. And then your closure is, tell me what you learned. Again, it says as a team, but because you're doing this individually, what did you learn today? And remember today, we talked about maps, which were the ones that look like that with the arrows. And we talked about order pairs, which are X and Y. Okay? All right.